All right, folks, we've got a real special treat for you today. I'm sitting here with some folks that have been working really hard on an awesome project. These are some folks that have been contributing to the photography industry for quite some time, and now it looks like it's culminated in a product that hopefully will be out really soon. By the time you watch this, hopefully it'll be out already. And it's a product called the Ultimate Landscape Photography Course, and it's produced by the stars of the course, Varina and Jay Patel, who are in this hangout, and some of the behind-the-scenes folks that made this thing happen, Brent and Johny Spencer. These are guys that are in Australia, but through the magic of Google Hangouts, we're all here together to talk about how this thing came together. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the Hangout.
Thanks
for having us.
Thanks for having us, Fred.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Brent, let's start with you. So you're coming to us. You're in Australia right now. What's your background and why are you into this photography thing?
Thanks, Frederick. Yeah, I've been a professional photographer for 10 years. I run a little studio close to the beach, and I actually interviewed Jay and Varina about 6 or 8 months ago. I can't remember. I almost gave up. I almost chickened out when I interviewed them the first time, but we got on really well, and they've come to Australia to film this product. So it's really good. Yeah. So more about me. I guess I've done every kind of photography out there. I'm a bit of a generalist when it comes to photography. Mm-hmm. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually focusing on teaching photography, giving it back to the community.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's great. Well, welcome. Welcome. It's good to have you. And Johny Spencer, you're also in Australia. What's your background and why are you into this photography thing?
Oh, what a big question. Okay, I'm actually a full-time employee with the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service, so I have a 14-year history with them, which has given me a good background in the environment, and particularly natural environments, which I have such a passion for. And photography is my way of capturing that and sharing it with everyone. So that's where my passion began. I love natural photography. I've been a full-time photographer for New South Wales Parks for about 2 years now in my career. And Jay and Varina have got the same passion. So we just met and we've just clicked. And yeah, I love it. Can't get enough, Fred.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Thanks for taking the time to come on.
Thanks for having me, mate. All
right. And also, last but not least, Varina and Jay Patel, the stars of this show. Varina and Jay, welcome, guys. It's been a long time since we had a chance to chat.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, it's a pleasure. Varina, let's start with you. So let's just dive right into this thing. This is the Ultimate Landscape Photography Course. So that's quite a stretch goal, calling it the ultimate. There's been a lot of courses that have been out there before this course. What makes this one ultimate?
That's right. Yeah, that's a word that we talked about. Some of us were like, well, I don't know, can we call it that? And after we finished the filming, and once we started looking at the videos as they came in one after another, all these little sections, all of us kind of looked at each other and we were like, yeah, we can call this the Ultimate Landscape Photography Course. If this isn't it, we don't know what it is. I mean, this has been the most amazing process for me, certainly, and I know that the guys have, it's just been amazing. First of all, we clicked amazingly well. We get along really well. We all have ridiculous senses of humor, and so, we're joking around out there and having a great time. But on top of that, we've got Johny and Brent, who have this amazing passion for photography and for outdoors, and they're also really good with their video cameras. And, we've got Jay and I who share that same passion for nature and for photography, and we were able to put together this course from an idea that, came sort of suddenly and out of nowhere. Hey, guys, do you want to do this? Do you think we can make it happen? Okay, let's do it. And, it came together so quickly, and everyone put so much work into it.
And anything, of course, as we all know as creatives and image makers and content creators, anything worth doing correctly takes a whole lot of effort. I mean, like we were, Jay, Varina, you and I were on the phone the other day talking about other courses and how some folks can just no disrespect to other courses, but people will put up a video camera and record themselves doing what they do, and then put it on PayPal and make money, and people get stuff out of that because it's almost like an over-the-shoulder kind of view, but it's you're lacking the high-end production quality that really makes the learning process easier. So Varina, I want to continue with this on this thread. So what was the problem that you guys were trying to solve? Again, there's landscape training and courses and online courses and resources and YouTube. All this stuff has been out there for a long time. What was the problem that you guys were like, you know what, we have something to offer right here, and this is why we're doing this?
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly it. We're looking online. We've got students asking us questions all the time, and we're able to say, hey, if you're interested in post-production, here's a website you can go to. Check out these links. There are thousands and thousands of videos and tutorials online for Photoshop work, for post-production work. There are all kinds of little tutorials for studio work, things like that. But what's really difficult is taking a student out on location and giving them more than just a very brief explanation of one technique. It takes, first of all, I mean, landscape photography, as you know, is difficult enough as it is. It's not an easy thing out there, just to keep your camera gear and everything working, and you've got rain and you've got harsh light and all these things. But to get a video crew out there, and I'm not talking about an iPhone video, that's great, and there's nothing wrong with that, and Jay and I have done our share of those, but to be able to take and put together, I mean, we spent 12 days in the field.
Wow.
Doing these recordings,
Wow. So you guys, you did it right? So then.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest problem that we come up against is that this is what isn't available. It's almost like being on a workshop, having a professional photographer with you. You need somebody who can, stand over your shoulder and say, hey, have you thought of this? Have you tried that? Have you done this? That's something you just can't get any other way.
Now, Jay, can you take me into the course itself? Because you and I all three of us, you, Varina, and myself, have done a hangout before where you guys took us through kind of soup to nuts in a discussion on, okay, this is how we pack, and this is why we pack, this is stuff we bring, this is stuff we don't bring, and this is why. Is all that in there? Is it a soup to nuts?
It is all there in there. Actually, as of last night, correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, it is 4.5 hours of video.
Yes.
And so what happens, Fred, is that last hangout we did, we get into really good details about how we choose a location and what local variability has to do with it, right? In this course, what we do is we follow the same concept as an introduction to the course. So how do we go and choose a location? Well, we go one step forward and say, okay, now that you're a location, look around you. So that video quality that Brent has done and Johny has done is they are shooting from all around us. So you get a perspective of what location you are in. You saw the small clip that we sent you about Varina standing right on the cliff, one step, and she was into the waves. And the perspective was that the waves were splashing water in her face as she was trying to shoot. Now, when you're at the location, the same decision-making criteria that we talked about in the last course of methodically thinking about what you're trying to accomplish and how you go about accomplishing that is documented in this course. Yeah. So we're in the location, we talk saying, okay, I'm going to choose a composition. Now, what will I look for a composition at this location? I will certainly look for something which is...
Yeah, we're getting an echo from somebody in there. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah. So I'll repeat myself. So I said when we're in location and we look and see the scene and I want to select a composition, I want to be able to tell as to what the composition is, right? And I then need to be able to select, saying, why did I select the composition? Is it because of the color of the rocks? Is it because of the color of the sky? Whether there's a cliff on the right side that I don't want, or whether a cliff on the left side. So this course goes on location, and while we're on location, we record the audio. And the whole technology of recording the audio when the waves are crashing 3 feet in front of you is a challenge. And what we have done is we have captured that entire thing, then we bring the images back at studio, and then we record the the post-production workflow. Because what you saw with your eyes doesn't always get captured in the camera. You have to.
I know, because one of the shots that I saw you doing in one of the clips you sent over was you on a beach, and you know the image, because you show the final image, which is stunning, of course, and then you know you see the video shot of you, which is, you know, the video is not going to be able to do the long exposure and drag and all that stuff. So it's Jay on a beach that's relatively dark, and I can see a silhouette of you and maybe your camera LCD. And then you look at the shot, and it's like, oh, that's what he shot. You know, so yeah, it's. So then, let's transition into the production a little bit of the logistics of putting something like this together. Like from what Varina was talking about, I think before we even started rolling, you guys had multiple cameras. You know, Brent, you and Johny had multiple cameras out there. You're recording audio professionally. You're in perilous situations. You know, you're trying to show what they're shooting and show where they're shooting it and all this stuff together. How did that come together? I mean, just take me through the logistics and the mechanics of it all.
Do you want me to
Yeah, you can. Brent, you go ahead. You start.
Okay, so I mean that's what I really loved about this, because we had planned it out so well. Jay and Varina had come up with the concept and an outline of how we're going to shoot it, and then we'd actually go in, and because I've been creating videos for 3 years and teaching my audience photography, you know, we'd go in, we'd photograph the whole lesson, or video tape the whole lesson with 2 different cameras. I'm on a handheld camera or a shoulder mount rig, and Johnny's on a tripod. And we had extra audio devices on Jay and Varina. And then what we'd do is we'd get the close-ups afterwards. So we'd think about how best can the audience learn from this. So when Varina's talking about the graduated neutral density filter or the polarizing filter, sometimes you're a little bit too far away. So afterwards, you'd actually go in, and I'd get Varina to talk about it again, and I'd get close-ups, really very shallow depth of field close-ups video of her explaining what she's doing, and also go in and show the back of the camera while she's putting the graduated neutral density filter into the camera in live view, so you can actually see it happening. And then we'd cut those in afterwards so that it looks like it's happening right in real time as she's explaining the lesson. And then we'll also throw in the still images, the unprocessed real images straight off the camera, and then the actual processed images at the end. So it kind of gives start to finish.
Yeah, that really adds the polish. And the way you describe it, of course, it makes sense. But looking at some of the clips, and if with you guys' permission, I'll show a little bit of some of the clips that you sent over as we talk about this. But looking at these clips, it looks like many more than 2 cameras out there. You know, because I guess because of you did it in multiple swipes, and then
well, Fred, did you know that I'm Superman? I'm all over the place.
Let me say it right. Brent nailed a videographer and photographer extraordinaire who we lured out of the sewers with a biscuit.
No, out of the gutters.
Out of the gutter, sorry.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. That's what he told us. That we lured him out of the gutters with a biscuit. Yeah.
Because
Johny, on your side, what was the post-production like? You know, you probably ended up with mountains and mountains, or gigabytes, maybe terabytes of data to wade through. What was editing like? Are you doing it in iMovie or what? What's the deal?
I edited in Final Cut X, so I know there was a big hoo-ha, and Fred, that's a thing we've got, that Mac thing, so just so you know. Yeah.
Is it Final Cut 10 or X?
Yeah, Final Cut, or however you want to say it. 10, X,
okay, before we continue.
Mac.
No, I love the Mac, and I love Final Cut, and I want to love Final Cut 10, but for some reason my brain can't connect with the lack of a timeline. So tell me, please, how do I connect with it? Because I hear it's awesome.
Look, I suppose I never used the old Final Cut, so my brain has never been wired to think the old way. Yeah. And I think that makes
Kids
all the
today.
difference, Fred. Yeah, that's it. Kids today. So,
Kids today.
In my day, we had timelines and we liked it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Fred, there's a solution for you. You know, we can hook you up to electrical machine, zap your brain cells a few, and the timeline will be erased.
Maybe it's time for me to revisit it because I've gone back in there. My friend Alex Lindsay swears by Final Cut 10. He loves it, and he says it's easy and it's beautiful, but something about that timeline. I want to see the playhead progress through the thing. You know.
Well, Fred, I use
Yeah.
the timeline. So, I mean, we're using Sony Vegas, me and Russell, to edit most of the course is edited on Sony Vegas.
Yeah.
And I
so
know
use
there's also
timeline.
timeline. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how Johny does it without the timeline.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you, Brent, those guys that don't swear by the timeline, they're just not real editors. I'm just saying.
And,
I'm kidding.
we old school. Fred, old school.
It's all about the final product.
So yeah, I know, totally. I'm just kidding. So Johny, so as you were putting this together, what were some of the logistics as you guys were putting the piece together, whether it's in Vegas or in Final Cut 10? How were you transferring files between the United States and Australia? How did all that come? How did you do it?
Yeah, well, that's a really good point, Fred, and I think that's one thing to point out here. You know, the amount of different tools, like we were shooting video on Nikon and Canon, okay? Mm-hmm. And we got guys on Windows in Sony Vegas and guys on Mac. So I think that's a good point, you know? You can utilize the tools that you have at hand to basically, you know, and when they get to see this course, you'll see the awesome outcome we had. So logistics behind it, I know Brent actually did the old snail mail and sent a full hard drive over to the UK to Russell for his end of the stuff. But other than that, Dropbox was a really good, useful tool for moving smaller clips around and a lot of the boards that we created. And what else, Brent? Of course, you know, for the final product, which Brent recommends, is Wistia. Which is did you want to speak a bit about that side of things, Brent?
Yeah, and from Australia, you know, it kind of pisses me off over here a bit, but you know, we're a first world country and we've got really slow broadband in Australia. So it took me 2 days, 48 hours to upload one lesson to Russell through Dropbox into the UK, and it took me a week to send the actual hard drive with, I think it was 250 gigs of footage to Russell via FedEx. So even sending something overnight with FedEx takes 1 week from Australia. So
jeez, that's crazy.
You know,
it is,
but he got it, and he's been working on it, and that's kind of why I chose him right from the start, because he's pretty good, and he also used the same software as I was using, so we could go back and forth. He could edit the project and then just give me the Vegas file, and then I could jump in because I got the same footage in the same folder, and I can do my final edit if I need to, or what I do now is I just get him to do it all, because he's pretty good.
That's
and
cool.
Yeah.
No, I heard you guys mention Wistia in there. So Wistia is a video sharing service that. So the other way to phrase this question would be, why not YouTube? Why not Vimeo or Vimeo Pro or something like that? Wistia is a relatively new upstart, which I love this Wistia. I have an account on there, a professional account as well. So I'm leading the witness for you to tell me why it's so great.
Okay, the reason I've chosen it is I do use YouTube for my free videos and my photo tips, but Wistia just works. It just works on every device I've used it on, and it's simple. You know, I tried it, I tested it out. You get a free account for so many videos. I can't remember what it was, and it just works. I used to host my videos on Amazon S3, and then used to stream it through, what is it called, Easy Video Player 2.
Easy Video Player, I remember that. Yeah,
there was so much. Yeah, there was so much coding, and then it wouldn't work on an iPhone, and then it would work sometimes on an Android device. It wouldn't work, and I just got tired of it, and so I pay Wistia, you know, a little bit every month, and it just works. It's as simple as that on every device, and it's really easy.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I agree with the whole clean part of it. The user interface is just a video. And the customization part, not to make this a Wistia commercial or anything, but being able to go in and customize the player, you know, I want these buttons to show up, or even what they call a turnstile, I think, where you can say, I want this video to play until the 5-minute mark, and then stop. And if they want to continue watching, they have to enter an email address. Those kind of things are really cool. Not to mention the terms of service restrictions that aren't there when you're using a service that you pay for versus one that's free. So yeah, that's cool. So what are some of the challenges that you guys? I mean, so obviously the lack of bandwidth, or the carrier pigeon bandwidth out of Australia coming to the U.S. So aside from that, what are some of the other big challenges that you guys have to deal with when you're putting this thing together logistically?
Well, logistically, I guess dealing with two stars like Jay and Varina, it's
I know. Varina and her green M&Ms, I know.
Yeah,
right?
that was
Varina is a star. I'm just a follower.
we had to feed Jay these packets of snakes, these snake lollies, just to keep him motivated and keep him going. I guess that was one of the hardest.
Low blood sugar days.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of like he's such a diva. He has to have his gummies. His little gummy.
Yeah, right. Brent loves those gummy hoop snakes. So he'll get a gummy bag and say, "Oh, this is for Jay." By the time I come back from shooting by noon, the whole bag was gone. And then he was like, "Oh, the kid ate it."
And now he's blaming it on you, public, in a live hangout.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have to say, Jay, you're really one to talk, considering what happened to the cookies the last time you brought me some.
That's crazy. No, Varina, I'm looking at some of the shots that Jay sent over earlier, and there's I wanted you to talk about them, and I'm sure you're intimate with them. I don't have to even show you, but there's one. The first one is of this waterfall. It looks like it's long exposure, and it's kind of a stair-steppy waterfall. You want to take me through what that one was about, and what happened around that one?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a shot that Jay took while I was shooting too. He was photographing long exposures, and he was capturing. Those are actually the waves crashing against the shoreline, and they're creating waterfalls each time they, go down those little steps of stone. So it's just this beautiful flow. Yeah, that's the one. And at the same time, I was right up on the cliffs there, and I was photographing high-speed shots of splashing water against the rocks. And so what we were trying to show during this part of the video is sort of what we do when we're on location together. It's so unusual for us to come home with images that are exactly the same. We come home with images that are totally different because we're doing completely different things standing side by side a lot of times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, my shots are just splashing water and very high speed frozen water droplets, and Jay's are these smooth lines and very very typical of Jay's work. He loves waterfalls and he loves long shutter speeds to get those flow lines in the water.
Now, Jay, would you say that your style is more wide and landscapey and all-encompassing, and Varina is a detail-oriented photographer?
Typically, that is true. Although, since we've been married for so long and shooting together for so long, we have sort of taken on each other's style. So when there's a light going crazy, sure, Varina will grab her a wide-angle lens, and get those crazy beams of light coming through. And I'll do exactly opposite. Is I have shots of macros of sea anemones and starfish and things that were taken with a very detail-oriented goal in mind. But so that's the one. So the landscape photography course, Fred, what it deals with is you go on a location and then you see on the video you will see this beautiful beach with waves crashing all over the place, and then all of a sudden, you need to be able to focus down on two things that you really want to capture. And those two things are not always same for all the photographers. And what we do is we stand there, we record the audio, and we sort of explain how we chose the location, how we chose the details that we chose to shoot. And then it gives people a sense of what is possible. That is what is missing in most of the photography books or courses. Is you look at the wide vista and then you sort of narrow your focus down into 3 shots that just make you go wow, and
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
You know, one of the things that I took away from the clips that you guys sent me over was your excitement for being out there. You know, you guys sent me 3 clips, and in 2 of the clips, one was Varina, one was you, Jay, and at the end of it, I think you both said independently of each other, this is what it's all about. This is, or something like, this is what makes life worth living, or something.
This is what I love about photography. This is what it's all about. I could do this every day, all the time, and be the happiest person in the world.
This is what you live for.
Which is like, you know, I mean, it wasn't faked. It was just like, you know, you guys were like really excited to be out there doing it. It came through in the video. So,
it is, and it is for us. It is all about experience, right? So even in the Enduro video, I think we summed it up that it doesn't matter how many times somebody has shot Grand Canyon, but when you're out there, standing there in the freezing cold with a camera in the hand and the light beams going spectacular, you cannot help but say, wow, I'm here and I'm doing this.
Yeah. Well, here's another shot. Let's talk about this one. Let me bring it up here. Yeah, here it is. Tell me about this one, and what is that thing in the water that I'm looking at right there?
It's a platypus.
And it looks like looks like a duck bill.
It is a duck-billed platypus.
That's right.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And they're still around. How did you manage to get this shot? Tell me about the history of it. I mean, what's going on here?
You know,
Varina,
we
you go ahead.
went up. Well, Johny took us up to Barrington Tops. Did I say that correctly, Johny?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Johny took us on this special trip. You know, he took us all up. He took Jay and I up to Barrington Tops. We hiked down this beautiful trail into the forest, and you know, we didn't even get very far because I stopped to shoot and Jay stopped to shoot, and you know, eventually we had to get back. So we both would have liked to go further, but we get to this beautiful little pond, and there's a little waterfall, and Jay says, you know, I saw something in the water. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think it might have been a platypus. You know, and I was like, really? I don't know. And Johnny's going, yeah, probably not, but okay, you know. And so we're looking, and pretty soon, sure enough, this little guy pops up, and there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt that it's a platypus. We're watching it. He must have come up, what, 30, 40 times in the half an hour we were there, and he was just cruising around doing his thing. I don't know if he's eating or what, but he was beautiful.
But there's only like 12 of these on Earth right now.
Yeah, so Johny was telling it, like, Johny, tell us how many times have you seen platypus?
Look, you know, in 14 years, Fred, I think that was my 3rd platypus experience. And I'm talking, this wasn't just a platypus sighting, like I've seen them pop up and go away. This was like we sat there for 15, 20 minutes with this thing playing around. It was amazing. I've told some of the local staff back home, and they're just blown away. They're just like, oh my God, are you kidding?
That's
you know,
crazy.
some staff for 20 years in the parks never seen what we saw. So what an experience. Amazing. And to share it with Jay and Varina, awesome.
We're there for 12 days, and we, you know, we get to see a platypus. And I mean, Brent, what were you saying? You were saying you had to drive, you know, way up north to see one. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to go 3 months in a caravan, and then we eventually saw one. You know, we had to go to a place where they say they're there every day, and we had to go like at sunrise, and then we missed it, and then we went at sunset, and then we saw it. But yeah, that's the only one I've seen in the wild, and I've been here 10 years in this country.
All right, guys, I want to switch gears a little bit before we wrap this up and talk about just safety out there, because I don't know, you know, but I haven't been to Australia yet. One day I almost went to Tasmania, but I haven't been there yet. But I hear there are lots of dangerous things there that want to do you harm. So,
right.
You know how
the worst thing were the drop bears, right, Jay?
All right, tell me about
you
that.
say? Yeah, I mean, drop bears are according to Johny and Brent, they told us we needed to be really careful. We needed to be watching the tree branches above us, and that the drop bears would drop out of the trees, grab our skulls, and gnaw on our heads, right?
You say that like it's a mosquito bite or something. Yeah, these bears drop out of the trees, grab your skull, and gnaw on your head. I can't imagine anything worse than that.
Right. So yeah, apparently though that's not.
It's yeah.
He almost had us going with the drop bears, but yeah, I mean, I think the next thing they told me after telling me about the drop bears and then the hoop snakes was that there were blue-ringed octopus, that I needed to watch out for the blue-ringed octopus that could sometimes hang out in the tide pools. And of course, having heard about the drop bears, then I was like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Well, it turns out there actually really are blue-ringed octopus.
Yes.
Octopi is
okay, wait, before you continue, just so I'm clear, there are no drop bears. Okay.
No, there are no drop bears. But
some say I can go to Australia one day and I don't have to worry about my skull being gnawed on.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
I kind of like my skull the way it is. I don't.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about it.
Okay. So the blue-ringed octopus? What's the deal with that?
This is apparently a very real creature, a beautiful little thing, but it can kill you. So there's that. Of course, there are snakes and there are
spiders.
Yeah, spiders. Oh yeah, there's spiders. Oof. One of the women who came with us on the workshop actually posted a photo of a spider that she said she was hanging clothes in the backyard, hanging them on the line, and she turned around and there was a spider the size of her fist. That's just its body, not including its legs, and hanging right there. She had a photo of it. She had her hand up in front of the camera, and it was, its body was that big. And so...
That's not a spider. That's a crab. I mean...
No, it is. It's a small dog. I mean...
Chihuahua.
That's the food that you feed them, right?
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
All right.
And Brent's trying to remind us over there that there are koalas. We saw a koala while we were there. It was
nice.
Beauty. A couple of them actually, and of course they're not. I don't think they're all that dangerous, right, Brent?
You don't want to pick one up though.
No.
Because they will gnaw on your skull, apparently.
Yes,
right.
They can turn into a drop bear. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, but there are dangerous creatures out there. The thing is, we talked to one of the park rangers, which is a really neat opportunity, and that interview is actually included in the course, so that's really cool. But she was saying that the thing to do is just to give them their space. She said most of the time they're not going to approach you. If you see one, don't approach it. Give it its space, and just let it go on its way. So as a photographer, I think what you take away from that is that no, it's not okay to chase the drop bears and try and get photos in there. No flash in the face. They don't like it.
Yeah, you're a visitor. Be respectful. It's like
and Varina,
in any bad neighborhood, right? Just be respectful.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
And exactly. Watch your back, right?
Yeah.
Varina.
Uh-oh.
Brent, that famous bandwidth is kicking
the
in.
The safety shoes that we were wearing.
Oh yes, yeah. Brent and I both.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'll just yes.
Go ahead, Brent. Tell them about the safety shoes. Yeah.
So Varina and I were wearing some really good safety shoes, and I think there's actually a photograph of Varina's feet being burnt with the lines of her, what we call in Australia thongs, but I know that they are something else in the States, flip-flops, I think, because you wouldn't be wearing a thong on your feet, right? So so those were the safety boots, or that Varina and I were wearing, because it was pretty hot, and mine actually had a blowout walking over the rocks while I was filming Jay and Varina with the glide cam. So yeah, a little bit of a casualty while filming.
Wow.
That's right. So he ended up damaging his thongs, and I ended up with really interesting burn marks on my feet because the sunscreen gets worn off as you walk around. Really, I'm putting sunscreen on the top of my feet every day, but It didn't
Wow.
work, so.
Yeah, because I hear the sun is about, I don't know, 100, 200,000 miles closer to the Earth in Australia. All right, so it's a little, it's a little bit hotter down there.
It's high summer down there. It's up here. My kids are complaining because it's freezing cold, and then they're rejoicing because they get 2 days off of school because of the freezing cold weather. And I'm down in Australia going, sun worship. It's just wonderful.
Well, guys, let's I want to be respectful of your time, so let's close this off and just the course itself. I know you guys are you're launching. We're recording this. It's the 4th of February, so the course is going live. When can we expect it to hit the shelves virtually?
Brent?
We're gonna pre-release it pretty soon in the next couple of days.
Okay.
So if you sign up to the or if you register for a pre-release copy. And I know, I think Jay sent you a link, Frederick.
Yes.
Yeah. People can pre-register there and get a early copy of the course at a discounted rate.
Okay.
And then I'm not quite sure when we can actually launch it. So we're still working on that. We're working day and night, and that's something that I really respect from Jay and Varina and Johny and Russell is, we all work damn hard. And when Jay and Varina were in Australia filming with me, I don't know how they survive on such little sleep. We were getting like 4 hours a night for 10 days, and it's just, I suppose it's a passion for landscape photography that was driving us.
I know what their secret is.
Gummy bears.
No, do you know how many children they have?
True. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Ankle weights, man. Ankle weights.
Ankle biters.
Ankle biters. Yeah, they're calling them ankle biters.
Ankle biters. Now, are you guys going to be able to kick down any special discounts or anything pre-launch, or are we just,
Absolutely. Of course, Fred.
Bring it.
We of course. We love you. We know we love your viewers and your listeners. So, yep, we're going to give you guys a 25% discount.
Awesome.
And like I said, you're just going to sign up, pre-register, and then we will send that out to you and make sure you have the information you need to get that discount.
Awesome. Perfect. So I love that. So you're gonna sign up. So if I go there and I'll sign up for the list, and then when you guys are ready to push this thing out, I'll get a notification that says, hey, you can sign up, and if you will give some sort of coupon code or something, then they can go and sign up and purchase it for the 20. And what's the price going to be of the course?
$197.
The regular price for the course is $197. With a discount price, it'll be less than $150.
Perfect. God, that's kind of cheap for all this pain and suffering you guys.
Oh, are you suggesting that we charge more, Frederick?
I would have charged $297. I'm just saying.
Okay, $297. Sorry, mistake.
For Swift listeners, $300. No, that's a great price.
That was my argument too, Fred. I said we should charge more, but Varina and Jay wanted it available to everyone, and at a good rate. So I guess that's the price of a good circular polarizing filter.
Yeah.
Really, at least for us here in Australia, it is.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then just the last question on that: how will it be delivered? Are you going to ship DVDs? Is this electronic delivery? Do I download an MP4? How does it go?
Instant download. So you go to the lessons on my website and you view the course instantly, straight away, and you get to download all the raw images and the layered Photoshop files from Jay and Varina. You can actually edit along the original images with them, so it's as if you got like a one-on-one tuition, and there's plenty of other things in there, so it's instant.
Wow, that's great.
We have so far, Fred, just FYI for your viewers, we have 4.5 hours of content. About 2/3 of it is on location content.
Mm-hmm.
We also give the raw file, so once we walk through the editing process, they can actually just take the raw file and edit it themselves and see what a big difference, like 4 adjustments or 5 adjustments in raw converter
We
makes.
give them the opportunity to work alongside us while we're working, and then also to try it out on their own using the same images, because sometimes it's just not the same if you're working from a different image. Sometimes
doesn't work out always.
Yeah, you're not sure if you're doing it right or whatever it is. This way you have that opportunity. So, yeah, we felt that was pretty important to include.
And that's
And maybe, Verena, you should talk about the case studies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should mention that quickly. We actually have a series of case studies that we did on location, and these are where we went in, we were on location, we were explaining the process, everything from what equipment we were using to why we chose the location to how we handled the light, everything in the field. Then we took it in the same images that we show you, the process for in the field. We take those same images in, we open them up, and work through the entire post-processing right there and show you how we do it. And then, of course, those are the same raw files that you're going to get when you download the collection.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this. I want to play with it. I want to watch. I want to learn.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
That's really cool. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. So, Brent, where are you at? What's your website where people can go check you out and some of the other projects that you're working on?
Yep, Brent Mail Photography. So mail like in the mailman, and you can just go up there and you can sign up for free to my tips, and check me out over there. And also, Varina and Jay learned a couple of new words, especially from Johny. So we'll have to hear that at the end. So.
Oh yeah. We'll close with that. We'll sign off with that. So Jay, what about you? Where is all your stuff located online?
Oh, it's very easy to find my stuff. jpatelphotography.com, and you can sign up for our mailing list over there. And we have other exciting projects coming up, which hopefully in the next show we'll bring that on, Fred.
Awesome. You guys are always working on something. You guys are like this serial entrepreneur, content creator couple.
It's true. It's true. We love what we do.
Yeah.
All right, Brent. I'm sorry, Johny. What about you? Where are you at online?
Yeah, you can find me at johnnyspencer.com. So that's Johny with one N. And I just want to add this. I am so excited about this landscape course. It was about 14 days all up that I spent with Jay and Varina, and just that insight being with them it's excelled my photography like nothing else. And I recommend if you get this course, you're going to just get so much information. It's going to take your photography to the next level. So, yeah, stay tuned. It's awesome.
That's interesting. You raise a great point, because like I was saying in the beginning, there's a ton of free resources online that you can kind of cobble together to kind of learn. You can go buy books, you can subscribe to these learning sites, or you can get videos and take workshops and all this stuff and kind of put it together. But to get the concentrated injection of this is how people that make the kind of images that Jay and Varina make, this is how they do it, soup to nuts. This is it right here. If you go through these 4 hours, you will get a big head start. You're not going to be Jay and Varina, but you'll get a big head start on how to get. Yeah, you have a good vector towards what they're doing. I think it's, definitely valuable. So Varina, what about you? Where are you at? Where can people find you online?
You can find me at photographybyvarina.com. And we have big things in the works coming up, and we're looking forward to talking with you again about those things. So, but we're not telling yet. It's a big secret. We're really excited. But we have spent almost literally the entire month of January working on this course, and getting it ready and getting it out to people. So, just one-track mind.
That's good. And on to the next one. I love it.
Right.
All right, Varina, while you're talking here, give me your Australian word that you learned while you were down under.
Okay, no, I have a whole phrase.
Uh-oh.
I'm good, okay. All right, hang on, let me see if I can do it. Okay, old mate Fisho.
What?
Wait. Old mate Fisho.
I told you, Frederick. No, old man Fisher.
No, old mate.
Old mate.
Oh, geez, he's doing it wrong. Old mate Fisho is drinking beer from the esky with his half-cut bogan mate.
Yes.
Wow.
No, it's not way wrong.
Now the question is, can Jay translate that into real people English?
Yeah.
Well, you did it wrong though. So.
No.
All right, Jay. I want to hear. I'm particularly interested in hearing your Australian accent, because you got another accent in there.
I have to tell you, Fred. I tried to do Australian accent. I was laughing so hard that I was actually crying, and that whole episode is captured in a video that I'm going to send you.
You have to send me that. I
And
need to
you
see
can
that.
actually put it out for your viewers at some point in time. And
Yes.
I just was, in fact, Brent was having stomach cramps because he was on the film camera and he couldn't move, and he was laughing so hard
I
because
need
I
that
just
clip.
could not.
That's exactly it. Brent and Johny were trying not to laugh. They're choking behind the camera, trying to be quiet, and Jay and I were just keeling over with laughter. It was, yeah, we'll send you that one.
That clip needs to be on YouTube, and I need to play that whenever I feel low or depressed.
Oh,
yeah.
In fact, we'll try to send it as soon as we get a final.
And
cut.
Fred, I think that kind of sums up the whole experience with Jay, Varina, Johny, and I. It was so much fun. I've actually never had that much fun creating something this good in my life. I was actually so sad to see them go, and so was my daughter. She really got attached to Jay and Varina because they were staying with me downstairs in my studio. So
Yeah.
it's we really miss them.
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
Brookie
They
a
have
hug
that
for him.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss you guys. We sure do.
We'll have to come down there again as soon as possible. And
Hell
Fred,
yeah.
we're going to come down to California too. It's been too long, man.
Yep. All right, guys. So I'll take that link, Jay, that you sent me. I'll put it in the description for this video on YouTube and also on the blog post on This Week in Photo when this episode goes live, so folks will be able to find it pretty much any place that's connected with TWIP. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to playing it. It's going to be on my iPad. I'm going to watch it. I have a couple of trips coming up, so I'm going to watch it on the plane. That's what I do, So.
Excellent.
Yeah. And
Excellent.
leave us some feedback, please. We would really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Cool, guys. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Once again, this was a behind-the-scenes look at the ultimate landscape photography course with featuring the stars of the landscape photography world, Jay and Varina Patel, produced by Brent Mail and Johny Spencer, the powerhouse Australian team that made this thing happen despite lack of bandwidth to the continent.
Yeah. They were awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thanks, Brad. Cheers.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Smash it, bro.